Well, it's Friday, so time for another minor prophet. Remember, we started with Hosea, we went on to Joel, Amos, Obadiah, Jonah, Micah. This week is Nahum, lesser known prophet. His name means consolation or comfort. The root that this name comes from means to be relieved by taking vengeance, which fits the book really well because the whole book is saying that God will bring comfort and relief to Israel by taking vengeance on their enemies, specifically Assyria. Remember, before this, Jonah preached to Nineveh, the capital of Assyria, and said, "You're going to be judged." They repented. They left their evil ways, and God relented. But here we are with Nahum, and God's judgment will not be averted. And it's a lesson that God's judgment may be delayed. It's not forgotten. And the Assyrians will be punished for their sins. And they are many. They were idolaters, of course. But they were also mean and vicious people who didn't care about anyone else. And so for 3 chapters, Nahum talks about the vengeance that God is going to take on Israel's enemies. Now, the verse I'm going to look at is chapter 1, verse 15. And in Nahum 1:15, it says this, "Behold, upon the mountains, the feet of him who bring good news, who publish peace. Keep your feast, O Judah, fulfill your vows. Never again shall the worthless pass through you. He is utterly cut off." And so this is very similar to Isaiah 52:7. How lovely on the feet of them, again. It's alluded to in Acts chapter 10, verse 36, and Romans chapter 10, verse 15. It talks about good news. In those days, good news, if you won a victory, that was good news. And you would send runners out across the mountains or wherever necessary to get that news across, that there is peace, and that peace is end of conflict. And so he is saying that there will be victory. Also, it's kind of an odd thing. Fulfill your vows, he says right after that. So back then, and I think today as well, it's common for soldiers going into battle to make vows. And Nahum's even saying here, keep them. That there's going to be a time when there will be peace, and you don't have to say, if God will deliver me, bring me back safe home, I will do so-and-so. God will, and so do so-and-so. And there's a comfort and an assurance. Now we look at that and we know Paul in Romans talks about the good news is the victory we get in Jesus. So the fulfillment of Nahum is not in the destruction of our enemies like Assyria. It is destruction of the enemy, sin. And the good news of victory over sin should be carried by you and by me over mountains, through streams, wherever possible, to tell the people the good news of Jesus Christ. Hope you enjoyed it. Hope you read it. And we'll talk again next week.